first off, obviously Lauren is here with us today, so we wanted to take a minute to introduce Lauren. She'll be your new CSM. Terry and I are not going anywhere, but Lauren will officially be taken over. So I'm going to kick it to Lauren, let Lauren introduce herself, and then we're just going to go over an issue reporting form that I think people have seen. And then Sean, we will kick it over to you and you can take it away. So Lauren, go
Awesome.
ahead.
Thanks, Casey. All right. Just wanted to say, hey guys, I'm super excited to join the team. Like Casey said, I am new to the HeadLight team, so I've been here a whole 6 days. So it's been good though. It's been good so far. So my name is Lauren Lindley. I am actually located in Folsom, Louisiana. I'm about 45 miles north of New Orleans. Some little towns right here near me are Franklinton, Covington, Avita Springs, those areas. So I'm definitely looking forward to meeting everybody and diving right in. Of course, we'll be at LTC on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week. So definitely looking forward to seeing everybody in person. I have been in the CSM realm for about 11 years now, so that's exciting. So hopefully I can bring some value to you guys, but I am looking forward to working with everybody here. All right, Casey.
Looking forward to it as well. Thanks, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Looking forward to passing the torch, Lauren. All right, guys. So today, before we kick it to Sean, we just wanted to go over our new issue reporting form. So I'm actually going to pop a link to that in the chat. I think some of y'all have probably already seen this before. And I'm going to share my screen real quick. We won't go through it line by line, but this issue reporting form is really what we want everybody to use moving forward to submit any issues to HeadLight. We will definitely pass this out more and more, so don't feel like you have to bookmark the link right now. But really, when we report issues moving forward, we want you guys to use this link. I think it's really going to help streamline us, be able to fix these issues quicker for you. So the more information that you can provide to us up front, the quicker that our teams are able to help you troubleshoot and hopefully write these issues. So kind of similar, it'll just be your name, email, phone number, and then really down here is where you get into the bread and butter of the form. You want to make sure you describe your issue, tell us what project you're on, if it's affecting multiple projects, and what steps you took. That way we're really able to take that information to our team so we can kind of troubleshoot and walk through the issue. Once you submit this form, you'll still get a notification from our support team. You'll get a case number, so it'll kind of be the exact same thing, but all the issue or all the information on this form, like I said, will kind of help us troubleshoot quicker. You can still add attachments, videos, pictures to the form, but we just want to make sure everybody is using this moving forward. Anybody have any questions, or has anyone been able to use this so far?
I've used it a few times, but there is something I want to say about this. So
Yep.
We are kind of going through a little reset here and maybe having to relearn. This includes me and even the construction team, having to relearn how we do support cases. So for a while now, there has been a lot of just sending support cases directly to the CSM, either directly to me or Kevin Barbier. We need to get away from that. And so this is a great time, since we have some new things going on, to go ahead and reset there. Your goal every time is to submit a support case to HeadLight and directly to HeadLight support. So the email still works, support@headlight.com. Will always continue to work. The issue reporting form that Casey's going over there is a better way to get the information to HeadLight, and I definitely recommend that you use that. I've started using that for nearly every case that I submit. But you don't even have to CC the CSM, or especially not Terry. Terry is not going to be handling your cases. And so when you send something in, make sure you're sending it just to support. Support's job is to take that support. Hey, William, can you mute for us, please? Thank you.
I muted him.
Okay. And so, HeadLight support's whole role is to get that support case where it needs to go. And so if it is something, even if it's something that ends up on the e-construction side, they are well aware of the things that we handle, and they will forward that over to us. So there's, just want to make sure everybody understands that the protocol is, if I'm submitting a case, if I have a problem, an issue with HeadLight, or maybe even maybe even something that's kind of on the borderline of e-construction or HeadLight, you send that support case to HeadLight and let them kind of divvy it up where it goes. And no need to CC anybody else unless you want to CC like your supervisor, or if you're submitting the case for another inspector or something along those lines, that's fine. But that's really all you have to do to get that case where it needs to go. And, you know, in the past, I will say there have been sometimes where maybe stuff was not handled as quickly as you would like. That stuff is being changed as well. And so you'll notice there's going to be a much faster response now, and not just an automated response. And so that will kind of give us the confidence we need to submit those support cases where they need to go so that they can get divvied up. So appreciate y'all doing that for us, and kind of working with us through this transition time. And Casey, thanks for giving us a little preview of that issue reporting form. We somehow, we're the tech people, and somehow we messed up the recording last month, so we did not get the webinar where we talked about that extensively. No worries. We'll have this video with Casey, and I'm sure we'll do some other documents, or maybe even a video showing you some more of how to use that form. So appreciate all that.
Awesome. And we don't want to bury Lauren too much, so we'll use the issue reporter form while we can. Go ahead, Terry.
And I just want to add on one more thing on there. There's a point that Les brought up when we first introduced and built the issue reporting form. This eliminates the back and forth. It eliminates, I sent 4 pieces of information and you needed 10 to figure out the case. So I like to think of the issue as almost the rapid reporting form, because it's going to enable us to immediately triage it, and to Casey's point, get it to the right person right away. The other thing that Les surfaced to us was, sometimes folks submit a case and maybe it has to go to development to be resolved. Maybe it's a bug, maybe it's something that we need to tweak for DOTD. In that case, that may take a little bit longer. And over time, if you've submitted a couple cases, and I think it was Beth Roberts, I don't know if she's on the call today, that had requested, hey, can I get a copy of what I sent you? And so we heard you. And when you use the form to submit your case, you will get back, in addition to the automated email that says, thank you for contacting HeadLight Support. Your case number is 78910. You will also get back a PDF of what you submitted for your future reference. So that also helps when somebody writes you back and you're like, what was that case I submitted? Because, if it happened last week, it could be pretty far in the rearview mirror. So I think that's a big improvement that's going to allow people to track their own resolved cases a lot better and share with their team.
Yep, appreciate that, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anybody else from the HeadLight side? You guys, was that all we were going over?
Yes, unless anybody had any other questions.
No questions? All right, we can take some more questions at the end if you guys think of something. And so I guess now is a good time. I want to introduce Sean Miller from HaulHub. And so you guys have probably seen Alex Richardson a couple times on here doing some training. Sean has taken over the Louisiana account and has been working with us and doing a great job of getting all those suppliers on board for getting e-tickets. And I think Sean, I'll give you a minute to go ahead and introduce yourself before you get started. But he's going to show us some, I believe, some of their innovative tools that have been coming out. We're getting pretty excited about some of the things coming out of HaulHub. These are will kind of change the way you do things in the field, and so I'm really excited about them. Sean, I'm just going to pass it over to you and take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, no, appreciate that, Les, and everybody for having me on. Alex is still with us, so he didn't go anywhere, but we did a little reorg since he's on the West Coast. I'm actually based in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been with HaulHub for 5 years, a little over 5 years. And I've worked with a lot of states across the Mid-Atlantic, all the way out to Oklahoma, and happy to be working with Louisiana, which really has been a great partner for us. And so we're excited to, continue to roll out e-ticketing and, digital, delivery of materials and tracking. And so the first feature that I think what I was going to show here was, and I'll just share my screen, is our ability now to centralize and capture, digital certs within our projects that Louisiana and any state that has been using, the HaulHub e-ticketing portal or EDOT platform has already been capturing, PCC, hot mix asphalt, and aggregate, truckload tickets, and that's been more streamlined and automated. So I should be sharing the screen here to our EDOT website. So again, underneath our environment, our centralized kind of EDOT portal. We have environments for agencies, contractors. Really has been in reference to the primes and subs for PCC, hot mix and aggregates, and then the material suppliers who own the plants producing those materials that we have to get connected with. And now we added this other instance for HaulHub's labeling them vendors. You guys probably still would label these entities as contractors as well. But states have started to show an interest in capturing other materials that, across the industry haven't really been communicated or thought of, or I guess acted upon quite as much yet, because every state across the country is still focused on, solidifying their processes for hot mix asphalt, aggregates, and PCC. So within our, portal, we can just set any contractor up. Right now it's set up for any contractor or supplier shipping direct to job sites, materials such as box culverts, steel, pipe, rebar, precast, really anything. It doesn't matter if there's a certificate of, delivery or compliance, or analysis that you guys typically track and, track down these contractors to hand to you, and they have to keep track of to get that in your hands with the right information. And then throughout your job, day to day out on site, you're having to maintain those documents. Then now we've unveiled a way for them to just upload centrally to the existing EDOT portal that the state of Louisiana is already using. So, they sign up very quickly through our website here. Once they get logged in, they have to add whatever agency that they work with. So in this case, Louisiana, they would just click add here. Once they do, then an admin on the state side would have to approve that as a certified vendor to be able to upload C-level documentation to the existing portal for e-ticketing. So once they get set up, then going forward, if they are shipping these materials directly to the job site, whether that's the contractor or maybe the supplier that the contractor is getting the material from is handling the trucking and shipping for them, then they just come into here, they click their agency, they select which project or projects that they're going to be uploading these certs for based on where they're sending those materials. So initially, it's just the project number they can search by. If they want to expand that by the project name, then they're going to get that name in addition. They can type in here and search, and they can select as many projects at once that they want to upload certs for. Once they select their projects, they'll be set here, and then they can attach, one or multiple files, BOL, certificate, whatever certificate that the state is looking for and requiring and requesting on the project. So if they need to upload a couple, that's no issue there. And then they just click review. Here are the documents that you're uploading for the state. If you want, they can add notes. Whatever note is relevant that they want all of the construction materials folks on the state side to see. Here's their attachment confirmation. And then the state is going to have a list of certificates that they require and need to be attached to this documentation. They don't have to actually do this on the front end. They can go ahead and send these documents to the e-ticketing project in the portal. But if they know ahead of time, or if they do want to, then they can affirm that, okay, these are these certificates that I have attached, and the state has already uploaded their entire kind of materials master list here for them to be able to select. These are the materials that are a part of this documentation, or the documentation is in reference to these materials, which they can search and select as many as they want, and then they would click send. So day to day, the state of Louisiana and all of the construction materials folks who have access to the portal are managing their project. And in addition to the hot mix asphalt, the PCC or aggregates, they are able to go in on the website, bring that here, into their project that they're already viewing those e-tickets for, and then they can go to this submittals section and view all of the certificate submittals that were uploaded by that contractor. They can select them, they can edit, and if the inspectors want to also, or any of the construction folks on site want to go ahead and add any notes in addition to that, they can. And then similarly, they can download this document to their portal or to their computer in the back office, and also see the documentation that was uploaded, so that now the worry for and hassle of maintaining this out on site is kind of disappears, and they can focus on the important aspects of the job instead of maintaining paper documentation out on the job site.
Sean, I just want to mention something. I have a PE that's been kind of direct messaging me about this, saying it's a game changer, and I 100% agree. I'm going to put my ex-inspector hat on for a minute and tell you, I would have loved this when I was out in the field. I can't tell you how many times a truck driver showed up and didn't have the certs with them, or whatever the case may be. And then at the end of the project, it was always a hassle trying to hunt that down. So as soon as we get all the contractors and manufacturers on board getting these certificates uploaded, it's going to be really great for LADOTD. Appreciate this demo.
Yeah, no problem. And really, it's hassle. It's less hassle for the contractor as well. There's probably many times where they forget or they lose track as to who has which document, and kind of where in the process it is to that handoff for the state. So, why would anyone want to have to deal with that? Out there on a job site that's active, there's a lot of elements out there. So just from a efficiency and a safety standpoint, it goes in line with all the other e-ticketing initiative that really across the country has been focused on, PCC plants and hot mix asphalt. And this really just opens it up to centralize any sort of document for any material at this point. So yeah, this is great. And I think what would be very beneficial is, that person that you mentioned, Les, and anyone else who has a project and, a contractor or, vendor, as we label it, but a contractor shipping any sort of material outside of the realm as to what the current e-ticket spec is for, then be happy to, get them in touch with me. I'll make sure their account gets set up. It's very quick and easy, and then they can attach those C-level documents, as soon as today. So.
Yeah, so I want everybody to pay attention to that. We're accepting pilot projects is basically what he's saying there. If you have projects where somebody's shipping mix or whatever, you're getting certificates on it, send us or send us Sean or e-construction team. Either way, we'll get it to them. Send us those projects, and we'll start trying to get that stuff connected.
Oh, am I still sharing the screen right now? Just want to make sure.
You're good.
Okay, cool. So we can move on to, the next feature here, which is pretty straightforward, but very beneficial. And, if you haven't on this call had a chance, there's a link that was in the newsletter that Les sent out for our digital stationing tool that we, have worked with Esri on and embedding into our portal, certain GIS view of this station. So I'm going to bring up my mobile app. And, this is our, the portal right now. These are live projects for the state of Louisiana. And if you're an inspector, engineer, anybody who has been working a project, that when you tap into your project, you see your tickets that you can manually enter in your station once you've aligned on what that is via your current process out in the field outside of the portal here. So obviously there's elements, human error that can happen to aligning on exactly what station you are at day to day. And so the purpose for this feature is to kind of handle all the worry of, are you accurately pinpointing what station you are at? So if I back out of here, we have this new tab called Explore. And so what it does is it's going to zero in on your actual location based on your device that you're already using to digitally view and inspect the e-tickets. So obviously I'm not near an actual project here in Atlanta, Georgia, but when you're out there on site, you would be. And in addition to that, you can simply search by the name or the HDOT number for whatever project that you're working on to really zero in to where that project is. And what you're seeing here is the alignments from the that were set up during the design process for a project being embedded into the existing contract before the job starts. So you know that these are all the station points. If you're out there on site, like you were just seeing me at my house currently, you would see your location, and then you can zoom in as far as you need to. And if you want to confirm what station and offset based on your location is, then you just long press on the road there, wherever you are, and it's going to tell you, what that is. So you can see here, the closest station to my location would be 113, 8406 with an offset of 5.07. And then if you need to adjust that, if you want to get really accurate, then you can click this edit pencil button and you can zoom in. And maybe you're closer to this side of, this crossover in this example. Just hit confirm, and then it will update this station and offset for you that you can then go allocate to the e-ticket. And this is per the, alignment for the project design here. So right now, this is all the feature is. It helps you, accurately, pinpoint your station. But where we plan to get to is having this automatically transmit to the ticket so that you're not having to go back to your ticket and manually type it in like today. So, kind of phase one, but I think the cool part is being able to visually see all the stations and all of the spatial referencing per the design of the project on the map and also relative to your device GPS location.
Sean, this is available now for those that are using HaulHub for e-ticketing?
Yes, this is available and a part of, the portal that every state procures on an annual basis through the AASHTO catalog. And all we need is, and again, kind of like, the vendor side feature that we just reviewed, any volunteers that would like to just call out projects they would like to utilize this on can reach out to, Les and Patrick and myself. And all we need to do is work with, internally obtaining the alignments from, the design or GIS side of the organization. And then we can very quickly upload that into here. And from then going forward, any inspector on any project that gets set up for will have this Explore tab and be able to utilize this tool.
Yeah, I want everybody, that's great to have. Think of it like this: once you get those alignments in there and get the project set up, even if all your station stakes get taken out by a piece of equipment, right? Now you have a way in their app to find out what station you're standing on. So huge benefit for inspectors, not only within the app to use for e-tickets, but also just in general as an inspection, trying to find your station number. Sometimes those are hard to get to when those physical station stakes have been taken out or not even put in. So
I just want to add, HaulHub's also working on an API so that external applications like HeadLight will soon be able to query against, and instead of pulling GPS coordinates into your observations, you'll be able to pull the actual stationing. So a lot of the forms, a lot of the things like that, we're going to hope to target where you can pull your actual stationing in.
Yeah, so we'd be excited to, get as many kind of volunteers as we can. There's nothing really holding us back, from running this on various projects in real time and getting y'all's feedback too. Like Patrick's saying, there's a lot that's in the works and planned, but also, we take pride in getting real feedback on features like this or the vendor side, and then implementing that, so that most of the feedback we're going to get from the state of Louisiana is probably going to help most every state. So it's all the benefit for us to get feedback and then to take action on it. So, let me know, you can let us know, as soon as you want to trial this on a project.
So we had a question earlier, and I should have brought it up in the first part of your thing. Is HaulHub free for contractors and vendors? So I guess they were talking about if they're uploading certs and that kind of stuff. Do the contractors and vendors pay for that?
No, they don't. So that cost is already covered by the state procuring our portal. So our cost for any contractor, supplier, vendor to have access to us on the state agency's behalf, there's no cost from HaulHub to any of these guys.
Thanks for that.
Yep.
Yeah, just get in touch with the e-construction group, and we'll make sure you set up and assign to the projects you need to be assigned to.
Yeah, and there was another question about where this was located. It's in the eDot app, so the same app we're using for e-ticketing now. So the only thing is that we'd have to set it up. What would normally happen, I guess, we didn't really talk about a process for this, but the process for now would be email the e-construction group with your project number and saying that you want to try out the stationing, and we will contact probably the project manager on your job and try to get those alignments so that we can get those uploaded. And then once that's uploaded, I believe you can, start using it. Is that right, Sean?
Yeah. Really, we've done a lot of back end work in most every state we're working with, to where at this point we really just need the alignments and then also the projection as well. But that's something that isn't, we just need to have that relayed to us from those internal teams.
Appreciate that. And also, Vicky brought up a question. We'll just do it live instead of answering in the chat. It says, will certs in HaulHub portal auto load into HeadLight materials, or will the PE office need to capture cert from HaulHub and upload into HeadLight materials? So I want to be clear about this. So this is fairly new. We have not even gotten all of the contractors and vendors like hooked up to this thing yet. That's the stage that we're in. And so currently, no, they would not auto upload into HeadLight materials. Now, in the future, we would love to make that connection, since HaulHub and HeadLight have already started talking to each other, and that's totally possible. I think the main thing is we believe this is already not something we have to necessarily mandate for contractors and vendors to start using it. We believe that it will be so beneficial that they'll just start doing it on their own until we can probably get it into a spec to where this would be the way we do our certs. And so it's going to be hit or miss on whether your certs are there for a while. Now, once it becomes the standard, then we can start working on that tie-in to where maybe it would already, it would just automatically show up in your ATM at the end of the job or something along those lines, which would be, final state, and we would love to see that. But for right now, no, you would be able to go there and download them and upload them into HeadLight materials if you wanted to do it that way. Yep.
I don't know if I'm over speaking, but talking with some of the other HaulHub guys, they're also looking at pulling in a lot of our mix design info with the material associations with the mix design, such that vendors can almost upload their cert, and as long as it's associated with the plant, any mix design with that plant will they're looking at AI tools to basically create that association of this mix went to this project on this day, so all these certs are relevant from this time to this time for these projects. So it almost gets where you can upload the cert from the vendor to the plant, and it will automatically start figuring out some of the associations of what projects and things like that. And I don't know if anyone's played with like the daily tally report or some of the daily AI reports that the HaulHub's been kicking out, but they're looking at doing similar with a lot of this other information going in. They can generate some of these automated AI reports. And that's been one of the asks is, as we get these two systems talking together, what information needs to be pushed back and forth between these systems to make it look like it's essentially a single system working together where the data is just flowing regularly so that the user's not having to do this manual transfer. So like Les said, we're in the early phases, we're in the pilot phases, we're kind of seeing these new tools. And as we progress, it's a matter of, figuring out this process, mainstreaming this process, and getting these two systems talking together so this information flows nicely.
Yeah, we're very much a phased approach, to a lot of new features, and the most important part is the people using it. So it's, hey, let's solve the problem of how do we collect the data, and remove the need to do it in person. And then from there, like Patrick's relaying, like how can we then start really maximizing the value of this and streamlining not just the collection part, but then the reporting, side of it as well. So the more participation and volunteering to participate, there is definitely benefit. I think as Les was relaying, and would love to hear, your all's experience now using this, and then, it'll help us build upon, those benefits down the road as well.
And we do maintain a feedback list, so we always welcome hearing, because we don't use these every day. Y'all use these every day. So we love hearing, hey, it'd be great if this did this. And it usually ends up on the list, and we bring it up with our internal discussion with the software vendors. And some they can jump on immediately. Some that goes on the want list, and as we progress, it'll eventually get rolled in. So, but as long as we have it on the list, we keep bringing it up.
Also want to give a little plug right here. So Louisiana Transportation Conference is next week, and we will have presentations by HaulHub. Sean will actually be down with us, I believe, talking about some of this stuff in more detail. And then also HeadLight will be, who is speaking for HeadLight? Is it George?
Yeah, George is the latest that we had on schedule.
So George will be down talking about some of HeadLight's ongoing things and giving you some updates on most likely some things going on with contract administration and where we are in that phase. So looking forward to that.
I think Lauren and Terry were planning on being there too, right? So you get to meet them face to face instead of over the camera.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to be giving a bit of a sneak preview, putting together a little, in Les Fletcher style, a little video short that shows some of the highlights of contract admin. And also, I'll be doing a small piece as well that talks about how we are going to incorporate some of the things that we talked about, Les, the functionality available in webinars, to create some a little library of additional on-demand training that will also have some quizzes built into them, so that we can do something we've talked about since, I don't know, late 2018, which is be able to get our users, it's not a formal certification, but having folks be able to say, I'm Fieldbook basic use certified. I am Fieldbook intermediate use, etc. And if it's of interest and it's something for the folks, I know this probably only pertains to the PEs, but if doing that is something of interest to utilize that as a vehicle to get some CEUs, we're happy to work with lasers and get that set up so that when you complete that coursework, you get something back that says, you now have 1 hour of a CEU for that. So more to follow on how we're going to really up our game in terms of using technology to deliver knowledge transfer to the team, and also as a way to field a bunch of feedback and input from the inspector cadre as we move forward in developing things for DOTD.
Thanks for that, Terry. And also thanks, Sean. We appreciate you coming on to give us those demos. So we always, I bet everybody on here is so happy that I was not talking all day, all hour for this one. It's good to see another face. There was something else I was going to mention, and I know what it is. So we did not get the webinar recorded last month, as I said earlier, but I did do 2 training videos that are in the, like Terry said, in the style of like a YouTube short. So they're, sub 2-minute videos, I believe. I would like some feedback on that. I feel like it is a good way to capture some of these things that are that you have to do that maybe you don't do very often. Like the last one I did was sample dispositions, like failing sample dispositions, something you have to do every once in a while, and so you might not remember the steps. So go check that out on there and give me some feedback if that works, or even if you need something else. Like, we're happy to do whatever kind of training tools we need to provide. So really look for feedback on that.
Les, something that we can do is when we have support cases come in, we can add whatever your most recent, for DOTD, obviously, for DOTD users, we can add your most recent creation as a link in there as well, so that even if folks miss the webinar, if they submit anything to support, they'll have that resource to go check out directly from their device if they want to.
That's perfect. One thing I like about recording these webinars and getting all this stuff, I say documented somewhere where it's easily shareable, is, over the years, it had gotten to where on our end, you're working on support cases all day and then trying to explain sometimes the same process over and over and over to different people, right? And this, I find that sometimes you guys send me something and I'm able to just send you hey, here's the link, go check it out. And first of all, it saves you time sitting there and me having to explain something to you, and also saves us time, right? So I feel like that has been very valuable, and I appreciate all those new tools we're getting out there so we can do that. I mean, if it's anything that you guys can think of to give us feedback on what would be beneficial to you, we are always welcome to that feedback.
Les, would it be helpful so you post the webinars on the YouTube page?
Yes.
Would it be helpful for you in the description section to have the summary that corresponds to that, maybe with some timestamps in it or some key takeaways so that folks can go in and have an idea, yep, I definitely want to watch this because I'm interested in this particular information?
The summary would be very helpful. I do chapter out those already. And so
Okay.
Each little thing that we talk about, even here today, will have its own little chapter. You can go right to it. Like we don't expect anybody to sit in and watch an hour-long webinar just to get a little nugget of information they need. So
Okay.
I will say, though, one of the complications with that is that we have, I don't know, maybe 40 videos on there now, and there's not a master like table of contents. And it's really hard to produce that so that you know where to go to look for it, even though you only have to watch that small section. So I've been working on some things there, but I've really not come up with a good idea on it, to be honest with you. And so still working on that part. Something else for us to work on our side. But yeah, a summary at the beginning would be great. Even if it's just a AI generated bullet points is what we talked about, it'd be really.
You certainly didn't think I was going to think it up and write it up myself, did you? Of course, I'm going to let AI do that. I will do a preliminary fact checking, but yeah, one of us here on the team will add that AI summary. It's great on the front end to see the key takeaways because it kind of prepares your mind for about what you're about to see, so you know what to look for. I think it's helpful.
I agree with that.
It was asked in the chat. I got it pulled up here. The sessions for HaulHub and HeadLight, you got Digital Construction 01 on Monday at 1 p.m. And that will be Terry Klein with Infotech, giving kind of just a general digital delivery, digital construction. And then Joel Van Duzen with HaulHub will be following him, highlighting a lot of the ADCMS work we've been doing with the connected equipment, the safety push, and a lot of the federal grant work that HaulHub's been doing with some of the shared state pool. And then immediately following that in the same room at 2:10, we have Digital Construction 10. Just to remind you that there's 10 types of people in the world, those that understand binary and those that don't. Sean will be clicking that one off with HaulHub e-ticketing and a lot of the highlights of just what's currently been implemented and how we're doing in Louisiana. And then that'll be followed with George White giving us the HaulHub, or excuse me, the HeadLight push and walkthrough of all the new and upcoming fun things we've been working on and getting ready to deploy, right, Terry?
Yep. I feel like that's the thing that folks are going to be most interested in and key on is a little bit of roadmap, a little bit of things that were discussed in the construction roundups that we need to give an update on. And just moving forward in the future, I know that Lauren's going to partner with Les to partner with Les as he puts out the newsletter and also to provide regular updates and content that will come through Section 40 to go out to the users about things that are coming in the future so that there's not big gaps in time between, well, what's the latest and where are we at and what's going on. So that a screenshot or two, maybe a quotable quote from someone piloting in the field, I think will be a great way to keep the broader audience up to date with what's coming next for the DOTD team with HeadLight.
And this will also give you a chance to meet a lot of these teams face to face and ask your questions. And again, we're looking for people ready to pilot a lot of this new stuff coming out. So this is your chance to see it and jump on board and participate.
I think I do have a couple things written down here, but I think we're close enough to time to where you don't need to listen to me this time. They're not that important. So, you guys got a good dose of stuff from HaulHub and HeadLight, and I can just save these topics for next month. So, but before we go, I do want to open it up for a few minutes of Q&A. We usually have that, so you're not off the hook completely yet. So if we had a few issues this week, and hopefully those are not lingering. It looks like a lot of that got cleaned up. And so if you have any questions related to that or other things, now's the time. So open the floor. Oh, it's going to be an early day.
Don't all jump at once.
The crickets are deafening. No question. Nobody, no questions at all.
Where's Kevin Adams? We haven't even heard from him today.
He's prepping all his questions for when y'all are in person.
Oh, bummer that I won't be there then, Patrick.
I'm so mad that you have another commitment, because it would be great for you to finally meet the folks that you've been supporting for so long, Casey. And I just have to say I'm excited to come back. Just seeing all the names on this particular webinar. So many folks that I started working with when Fieldbook was rolled out a while back. I'm excited to see everybody in person again, and also to introduce you to Lauren, who's going to take the mantle on and continue to do great things with y'all and just be a tremendous resource for the organization.
Well, good deal. Thanks everybody for hopping on here and kind of going through this with us. Hopefully we are providing some tools that will help you guys out in the field, try to clean up some of these processes that we have. We've got plenty of work to do here at eConstruction, but couldn't do without you all. So we appreciate that. That's all I got. So guess we'll see everybody next time. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.